How's Asia going? I don't think Asia's fight. Oh no, Asia is fighting. Germany's Asia is invading China, even though they're about to die themselves. Oh no, they still have the territories out here. Of course they do. How are they doing that well? I guess China just has all of their troops on the Russian front, and they were not expecting this German-East Asian invasion. And over here, although these are actually East Asia territories. So yeah, China just kind of caught unprepared there. It's not going to be difficult to push back, though. Pushing into Switzerland slowly but surely. Oh man, look how weak these units are. Oof. Credit to Sweden for holding here. Mostly British troops that are over on this side. How's Britain feeling about holding on? $15,000 supremacy. Wouldn't be that surprised if Germany can break that. I mean, Germany's opportunity has kind of come and gone to get a naval invasion of the Union Britain. When Britain had zero oil, that would have been the time to do it. And would you have known about it? This is one of the reasons why Intel is so important, because you can see how much oil they have. And yes, you can see enough. And also the fact that Britain has less than 100 convoys. Something absolutely decimated them early on. Because I can't imagine they would have had only 170 convoys, surely. I think Britain starts with more than that. I think they start with about 500. I think. Oh, that's vanilla Britain. I don't know about Union of Britain. Yeah, here comes the Chinese counterattack. The troops are flooding in. In fact, I think these are actually Indian counterattacks. Yeah, those are Princely Federation troops coming in. I guess China's troops are well and truly just all over here. And in fact, how's the Russian push going? Did they ever manage to push the Dnieper? Yes, they did. Helvetic Commune's gone, so Switzerland was not the last one standing. I was incorrect. Not seeing the Russian heavy tanks. Because the German one's there. Kind of look like they want to try and do a pincer. Attack there and there. Russia did take the airbase, which is going to be good for them. Where are the Russian heavy tanks? They didn't lose them, did they? And they are facing off against the Finns, though they haven't done a huge amount on that side yet. There they are. Oh, they are on the front. Okay. Oh, you're not in a... They're using wrangles, they're doing one thing right, but you're not even in a field marshal, which means they're not gaining the benefits from the field marshal buffs. And wrangle even has a spare slot, so I really don't know why they haven't done that. Like, there is no reason to. Very disheartening to see Union of Britain AI just have 220 to 350 divisions all just in Britain. Yeah, that's if they can't get off the island. If you do too good a job of blockading them, then eventually Britain just becomes basically impossible to invade. Because they have so many infantry just guarding their coastline. And that might well become the situation here. So, Germany has been building sub-3s, has a decent number of them. Dönitz is doing Dönitz's thing. Dönitz has Ironsides? Oh no, he's gaining Ironsides. And then yeah, they have Death Stack under Raider. So they've finally decided to stop raiding the English Channel, probably because they lost just a horrendous number of submarines to that, but the North Sea and the western approaches they are raiding. Which means that they really want to be doing Norwegian coast and Bay of Biscay, or the Iberian coast, to stop British transport sneaking through here. If you can't go after the English Channel, you need to make sure you block it off elsewhere. Doesn't matter where, as long as you're blocking it. Oh, they're through. They're across. Chertske has fallen. Cherkasy, rather. And the German heavy tanks are charging down to the south. Moving up beside Cherkasy, probably hoping to get a cut-off if these guys push in too hard. Which they might. Because the Russian tanks are going, and here we go. The German tanks coming in behind, going after the squishy infantry. German tanks have noticed the threat, and we have... oh no, that's a light tank coming in. They've been pinned. You want to do a force retreat. Havana fell. Oh, to America. Yeah, fair enough. Princely Fed declared war on Yemen. Various guys from here are stopped. And Cherkasy has fallen. Oh man. Please tell me you can take this. Because you could actually trap both of these Russian heavy tanks. You've got these German tanks coming in. No planning preparation, though. You could have up to another 44% attack bonus if you actually use planning preparation. At least you're using a field marshal, so, well done. And it looks like the Russians are actually backing off. They've seen the threat. It's well played by the Russians. There goes Sweden. So, Spain. It's the last one standing now, right? But I think that the Reichspakt basically decided, you know what? Spain's not the threat here. Russia is. And Russia is now trying to punch Finland. But this is now a Reichspakt with the entire industrial output of France and Italy facing off against the Co-Prosperity. And Germany East Asia is still holding out down here. Less so up here, but they still have a couple of exits. They have an exit. They don't necessarily have an exit strategy, but they have an exit. And hey, Gotland is holding out. Can't take Gotland. Spain's got that land. Sorry, I had to make that joke. It's a terrible joke, but it had to be done. Central America is just fighting against Costa Rica and Nicaragua, I believe. Attacks on Singapore from Siam. Oh no. Germany East Asia pushing out of Singapore. Oh no, that is Singapore, sorry. Tanjung Penang is something else. So yeah, massive Siamese invasion of Singapore at the moment. And that is just kind of a matter of time. Siam declared war on Egypt? Siam. On Egypt. Simon's co-pro. Oh dear. So is co-pro going for their chunk of Africa now to use as a staging ground to go after Suez and or Gibraltar? Possibly. Hello, hello. Finally Ireland is able to watch the stream. Hey, Ray Hunt. This entire time I've just been saying, oh man, Ireland. I love Naval Ireland. Naval Ireland is such a good idea, and then that happened. And I'm really annoyed, because it was... You did everything right. There was only one change I would have made for how Ireland was played, and I would have used sub-3s instead of sub-4s. Sub-3s with tier 4 torpedoes and tier 4 engines. It's the only difference I would have done. Like, you got the right doctrine choices, you set up the submarines right, you had a great admiral for it. And we've crashed. So, what should we look at first? Let's go and look at Germany, because that's who we started with. No, let's look at Ukraine, because I want to see if the Russian assaults were thrown back. They were. We've got some German tanks sitting back here. We've got some more Bulgarian crazy heavy armoured mechanized coming in. Spain at the moment actually doing a pretty good job of digging in, although I'm seeing a large block of German troops just waiting to try and punch across here and take out the little bit of France that remains. And this is just not enough divisions. Like, even though they are guarding a river, they've lost this bit of the river, which is probably why they have the heavy tanks here. I mean, these heavy tanks working together could probably, at least these four, could probably do something to drive that back. Did I play 76? And if so, what did I think of it? I played maybe an hour of 76. My problem with 76, like, the game itself seems fine, but it's just not moddable. And the reason I play those Bethesda games is because I love mods. Like my Hearts of Iron 4 game, Fallout 4 game is incredibly heavily modded. And somehow still going. Yeah, I heard that Dog Meat's in real life inspiration died recently. That was unfortunate. So, Germany, East Asia, still here. Still fighting on. Princely Federation is holding them back. Now, are you getting resources for this? Not a lot. So Guangxi doesn't have nearly as many resources as it does in vanilla, where like all of China's stuff is just concentrated down there. But they're still there. They still provide a little bit of a back entrance for the Reichspakt, if they were so inclined. And... oh, French Republic. That's you going after Egypt. Okay. And that is a pretty hefty naval invasion. And this is where rocket artillery is going to truly shine. Because the AI tends to have lots and lots of infantry. And motorized rockets just demolish infantry. They just have so much soft attack that it's just impossible to resist. Like, even though this is a river crossing against an entrenched unit of cavalry, gone. And because these are basically motorized, they are just going to be incredibly quick. Yeah, 255 soft attack against 40. 500 soft attack. Like, oh man, that hurts. But this does mean that the Entente's going to have access to the Mediterranean very, very soon. Although, no, it doesn't. The Entente's not at war with Bulgaria. So they're just going to take out Egypt before, apparently, Co-Prosperity. Because they're also attacking through here. Because weren't Co-Prosperity at war with Egypt? Yeah, like everyone is. But this is going to be really good for the French Republic, because this is going to give them a bunch of extra factories and possibly extra manpower. Do I use Excel to optimize production? In this? No. I'm not that much of a min-maxer. The only time I've used Excel in a game, legit, was Eve. Because I used to have a multi-billion ISK business in Jita. and I ran it via Excel. Basically input all of the prices on one day and it would spit out the best profit margins. And then I would buy and sell those resources. And do the same the next day. And it really was a multi-billion business. I'd make like 500-600 million a day. Unfortunately, this was before the time that you could sell ISK for money. Although even then, like, you wouldn't make that much. Maybe $20 a day or something. And that's if you sold the entire profit margin. So the new tactical plan of the communists try to pass of Sweden. I mean, they're trying it. I don't know that it's necessarily going to work very well, but they're certainly trying that. And they've given a little bit to Ireland. Heck yeah. So does this mean that Ireland can get Lend-Leased? Yes! Okay, the Irish submarines are gonna keep on ticking. We've always been at war with Eurasia. Yeah, rocket artillery is really, really strong. Like, it just falls over when it comes up against tanks, but against these infantry-only armies, and especially in North Africa, where speed is just so important, they are very, very good. Unfortunately, they are suffering rather heavily from attrition at the moment. Let's actually take a look what the template is. Marines! Huh. That's not what I would have done. This is actually really expensive. So the Marines for the extra attack and defense. But then why don't you just use regular rocket artillery, which is cheaper than motorized rocket artillery? That's a weird decision. I was expecting this to be a combination of motorized and rocket artillery. That's the normal template. Why Marines? Because of the Nile? No. I mean, if it was like armored tank or armored cars and rocket artillery, I could understand that. But Marines? Did I dominate the EVE Online tea industry? Oh man, if they sold tea, I probably would have. The other question is, are you using... No. So even though you have a 48% planning preparation, you're not even trying to use battle plans. I mean, you have them set up, you're just not using them. And again, this is an area where it would be really really strong, because you can just keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. Oh, here comes the infantry to take what they're holding. Let me guess, 10 combat width. No, 20s. These are actually pretty big garrison units. Expensive. Oh, we've got a naval invasion. The Germans have landed in the south of England. So this is where I would really like to see, yes, those Irish submarines coming in and just patrolling the channel, because they're tier 4 subs. Enemy anti-submarine fleets are not going to see them. They're just going to... Oh, no, yes they are. Never mind. Baltic states just capitulated. That is an advanced sub, and it was just sunk. But the screening efficiency is just 8%. There's going to be a lot of supplies coming across here, especially if if Germany decides to follow up with other units. So we've got British heavy tank units coming in. We've got the French heavy tank units holding on to these positions. We've got British infantry, which are woefully under-equipped. I'm guessing that they just pushed them out as a deployment. Oh no, in general they're woefully under-equipped. Too low on infantry equipment, they're just not making enough. But it does look like they're going to push back these guys. The danger here is Dover. They basically need to push this and reinforce Dover before they take Dover, otherwise they'll start getting supplies in. So they've got the connection. These two heavy tanks want to be coming in reinforcing. Okay, they gave up on the attack. These 3 Marines are basically dead. Britain lives to see another day. And there we go, those Irish submarines going up against the entirety with all 253 destroyers. But because the screening efficiency, because the positioning is so poor, they're having huge penalties to screening efficiency. So those submarines are just like pew 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 pew, just like that, with the pew 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 sounds as well.
Britain.
Yeah, I have been. They're about to get repulsed though. Germany stayed. No! Disappointed! Yeah, the last of those guys. And the Irish submarines still doing their thing. The Germans not even trying to guard the ships here. Good old Seamus O'Moiris. Again, I probably would bring in the 20% extra damage guy. Two quick ways to make Mordred angry in this game. Poor submarine game and not using planning. It's not even poor submarine game, it's just poor general naval game. Like, my standards for what I say is not terrible. Not exactly high. I know how players of this game play the game. But even that very, very low bar is... Oh dear, they've left a gap. Oh, nope, they've... completely... Huh? Did Spain just throw this game? I mean, it was pretty over already. But they were at least holding that front open. But now they've just completely abandoned this front and left the French tank units to their fate. Yeah, the French are retreating to Bordeaux because it's going to be their only way out. I don't know what they did there. Like, yeah, Gibraltar is important. It's not that important. The advanced sub is tier 3, not 4. Ah, okay. Yeah, the tier 4 should be really hard to spot. That level, just 9 sub visibility, and there we go. French moving in, taking out the last of the Marines. So Britain is, for the moment, safe. And the tier 4 submarines are doing a lot of damage. Oh, yes, and here's the other thing. If Germany has their fleet set to repair, then they're going to repair at the rate of the slowest ship. Oh no, they're set to do not repair. Okay. That's one thing they have done right with a Doom stack. Also, they've massively overstacked the aircraft carriers, which means those aircraft carriers are just going to be completely inefficient. So any planes that they are flying just won't. Well, they will, just with like 5% efficiency. And you've seen the importance of air efficiency when it was the British Air Force facing off against the German Air Force over the skies of southern France and losing, what was it, 35 aircraft to 3? Yeah, that would happen at sea as well. What do I think the Entente are planning? I think the Entente are planning to take back Britain. I think the reason they're being so slow is because they're planning a really elaborate invasion of Britain. From Ireland. I mean, they have the staging ground for it. Oh, the German heavy tanks have arrived. They mean to put an end to Spain at this point. Who just capitulated? Oh, Egypt. So Egypt is going to Sultanate of France. Then it's going to the French Republic. Is Spain AFK? I don't think so, because they moved their troops to the south. There were no crashes or hot joins in Game A. Well, they were lucky. GoPro is a ton of land and manpower, but almost no point. Seems like Kaiserreich. Yeah, every time in Kaiserreich. They're a late game one. I don't imagine we'll see a huge amount of the GoPro until tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Irish submarines are going at it. Our German submarines against the French, also not screening their ships at all, although they do have a couple of destroyers, but those destroyers look like they're leaving. You can tell if they're leaving or arriving based on which right around the ships are. The ships are currently leaving. So they are leaving these convoys to their fate. For reasons. How many convoys does Germany have? Germany is losing convoys. They had over 1,000 at one stage. But yeah, this is well and truly the end of Spain. I don't know what Spain was doing. Possibly a misclick where they moved the entire army to go and defend Gibraltar. But yeah, it's over for that. And then it was just Britain. And no, I don't count French Sweden. I recall the AI likes to abandon the entire front line, but I don't think it's an AI. Spain is a player. Yeah. Amencron. Amonecron. Oh, and they're trying again. Here come the Italians. And the Italian AI really likes their naval invasions if this is the same as vanilla Italy. Barcelona's going to fall soon. Oh no, sorry, they're defending, never mind. Barcelona's holding. Bilbao is going to fall soon. There we go. Got that one right. Japan declared war on Insulindia. Insulindia's... no. Okay, so Insulindia hadn't actually joined a faction. There goes Germany East Asia. Wait, how... They're a puppet. How'd they get... Oh no, Germany has to... Wait. They are a puppet. How did they take Germany East Asia? Why you can't just use multiple carriers per fleet, too many planes per square kilometre, so to speak. Yeah, basically. It should really be done by just massive ramping up of air accidents, as the planes just slam into each other as they're trying to land, or take off. But in terms of the game, it is simply they're less efficient, they do less damage, and they take more damage. And yes, you can have up to 4 carriers in a regular strike fleet, or 5 if you've taken base strike doctrine.